Hello, welcome to Manic Max. Today we're going to be talking about every single parody that we have seen. We're going to be rating them from 1 to 30. 1 to 10. 30 is the highest it can get because the three of us are doing it all together. The lowest it can get would be a 3. So we're going to see which is the best, which is the worst, and let's get to it.
So I'll go grab one.
Okay.
This one is written on a card. Yes, we
This
don't
is the
practice
only one
on
we don't have.
DVD.
This is the only one we don't have a copy of.
We have copies
Saturday
of
the
every
14th.
We're talking about Saturday the 14th, which is a 1981 film, so it's currently 40 years old, starring Richard Benjamin and Jeffrey Tambor.
Richard Benjamin is very funny.
It's a parody of old horror movies, and it's interesting because it actually parodies Nightmare on Elm Street twice, even though it was released 3 years before Elm Street came
So it
out.
predicts.
So in a sense, it predicts Elm Street.
So what do we think about it?
I liked it. I thought it was funny. My favorite part would be when the Van Helsing is at the house. The guy knocks on the door. He's like, liquor store? Nope, private residence. And he slams the door in his face. So for that joke alone, I give it a 7. And it's Richard Benjamin, Jeffrey Tambor.
I
give it
like
a
Richard Benjamin. I give it a 6.
I give it an 8 out of 10, so...
Okay, so altogether, math time.
21.
21?
Okay.
Okay, 21 out of 30.
Yeah, that's
not
next
bad.
year.
Well then, let's take, this one is the one I'll be doing by myself. They have not seen
We
it.
have not seen it yet.
Our Cartoon President, which is a satire on Donald Trump's White House and all the other politicians in the White House. It's from executive producer Stephen Colbert, who was also one of the creators and writers of the show. Donald Trump is voiced by someone you might not recognize by name, but you'll know once you start looking at his IMDb page and whatnot. He's actually played Bugs Bunny and a ton of the Looney Tunes many times, so what a weird choice to play Donald Trump.
That's very weird.
But
They don't even sound.
it's a pretty good satire. A lot of people complain about the animation style. I don't hate it. They're like, it's rushed and ugly, and it's like, you guys like South Park. What are you talking about, this rushed and ugly? I liked it. It was funny. I know a lot of people hate it from its 5.1 out of 10 rating on IMDb, but I give it a 10 because I thought it was funny.
Okay, I can go pick one now.
Okay.
I'm going to
Just grab one. It doesn't matter which.
Love at First.
Oh, that's a great one.
Okay. And then we got
Love at First
Bite.
This movie is about Dracula.
Hotel Transylvania.
No, not at all.
It's about.
Much better than.
It's. You can describe it.
It's about. But Dracula gets evicted from his castle in Transylvania and decides to move to, I think it's New York City, right?
It's either New York or LA.
It's like New York or London or something. But he meets a girl who he falls in love with,
Obviously.
and her boyfriend, who is a Van Helsing relative, finds out that he is Dracula, and so he attempts to kill him in many comical scenes, such as a restaurant scene in which he mixes up killing a vampire with 3 silver bullets and ends up
Just shooting George
Hamilton in the face a couple times.
I'm pretty sure it was his ex-wife.
It was his girlfriend. It was funny. It was
Sounds
new.
funny.
Let's meet in the middle. Let's meet in the middle. Not girlfriend, not
Fiance.
wife, fiance.
It ends in a way you wouldn't expect as well, with Dracula actually flying away, turning her into a vampire, winning at the end, and flying away. Which isn't the way I expected the film to
Most
end.
movies don't do that, which, this was, a nice experience to find out what actually happens if the bad guy wins the girl other than the good guy, because
Yes.
good guys always win the girl for some reason.
And Renfield was great in it, too. I give it a 7.
I give it an 8. I really liked it.
I'll give it
was
an 8
funny.
as well. So
Okay, so then that's
22.
22. Okay.
This is the highest so far.
So it beat
Another one I'm going to be talking about by
Alright.
myself.
Hey, no, I grabbed this one.
Okay, fine, you can grab one. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I want to save airplane too because Sarah's gonna have a lot to say about that.
I'm
Yes.
going to have a lot to say about
Kung Pao.
Kung Pao!
I don't think I watched that one with you guys.
No,
Yeah,
you didn't watch Kung Pao, and that's a shame because that was a really funny movie. I got it for $1. I found, and everywhere I'd been looking for it, it was over
like
It was over
$100.
$50 everywhere else, and I found it for $1 at my favorite store, and it was like, man, that's a bargain. It's like I
Hashtag
can
not
get
sponsored.
this and something else. Yeah, not sponsored.
Hashtag not
So I
sponsored.
suggest you go there. I'm not gonna tell you the name though. So it's a parody of some old kung fu movies. They actually did. The writer Steve Oderick actually wrote an entire nonsense script, so that they would say that while filming, and then redubbed it all over with the actual dialogue, so that the dialogue wouldn't match up like in actual kung fu movies. The title is obviously a parody of Bruce Lee's Enter the Fist, or Enter the Dragon. Sorry, that's this one. And it's funny. It's got Phantom Strider put this on as a honorable mention on worst movies of all time. I don't think I'd be able to watch him if he actually put that on the list. Even he agrees that it's just supposed to be stupid. It was really funny. Wimplo. Remember seeing Wimplo where they all die? It's like, no, you fool. I went like this. Ugh. Doesn't mean I died. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, you were alive too? Yeah. Well, that means Wimplo. But that was funny. It was a good movie.
What was I gonna say? I just had it. Ah!
I think I'd give it an 8.
I also give it an 8, but I'm trying to figure out what it was supposed to say.
So then we got 16 out of
out
30. Another one I'm gonna be going with by myself. Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2. This features the first one features Charlie Sheen, Lloyd Bridges, and John Cryer, and Carrie Elways in a parody of the film Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise. And it's an interesting one. This one was done purely by Jim Abrams without the Zucker brothers and his friend Pat Proft. The two of them are actually very good at doing parody movies, I would say. They make it funny, they make it interesting, the comedy's all dumb and stupid, just like I like in a parody movie. So I give Hot Shots a 7. And then Hot Shots Part 2 is a parody of Rambo First Blood. John Cryer and Carrie Elways do not reappear in this one. However, Rowan Atkinson's in it for some reason. That didn't make sense. He was like the girl's ex-boyfriend who was a scientist they were trying to find.
Are you sure it's not a crossover of Johnny English?
No, it's not.
It should be.
No, it should not.
Or Mr.
I think he actually gets killed at the end, Rowan Atkinson, while they're trying to save him.
Hey, I'm like in Johnny English Reborn!
They knock him off a cliff.
Like Johnny English Reborn.
We'll get to that later. And a lot of people didn't like this one as much, but there were a couple of lines that were really funny. I give it a 7 as well. So altogether the movies get 14. Hot Shots. You'll get
this movie is really funny. I like.
Take the money and run.
I like this one. I really like Woody Allen. He's really funny.
Regardless of what you actually think of Woody Allen.
But I mean, as an actor in this movie, he's really funny in it. So basically,
how about we try to ignore the controversy while we're talking about this?
Yeah, let's ignore that. That's a bit hard to ignore with the recent documentary and whatnot. But this is a mockumentary on bank robber films, and it's funny, and it created a lot of jokes that are still repeated often today. Even though it's how old now? Like 50, 60 something years old. And
you can wear plaid to a bank robbery?
Hey, who wants to be? Okay, show of hands how many people want to be about this group. Woody Allen's just really funny. But
every hour he must turn into a rabbi.
Yes.
If you didn't know what mockumentary means, it means
it's just
a mockery of a documentary. So it's basically a parody of a documentary.
Which is just parodies of documentaries. I liked it. I give it a 9. You guys?
I give it a 7. I would say.
To be honest, I give it an 8. Everything I've rated, I've given it an 8.
So that's 24.
24 and.
Oh yeah, it's first place again.
First place.
Okay.
It should be. It's really funny.
This one I'm gonna need to talk about a little bit more because this one has a confusing history.
Okay.
All right, so
the creature wasn't nice.
So this one is a really funny parody of Alien. That's a musical, by the way.
Musical parody of Alien. What a strange choice to make a musical parody. What is a strange choice to make it?
Edison almost killed me again.
Every time you're doing
Every
this.
time,
Edison,
man.
it's like he wants to drop the light bulb on us.
Anyway, so the backstory is when the movie came out originally, it was a bomb. everybody hated it. So then, years later, they decided, how about we rewrite the script and produce it again, which created Naked Space, or Spaceship.
To riff off of Leslie Nielsen's films Airplane and The Naked Gun.
So it did it did a lot better than Creature Wasn't Nice.
Not exactly much better.
Well, it was still better known.
Wait, isn't Leslie Nielsen in this one?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's why they did that. That's why they did the spaceship and Naked Gun thing.
We haven't seen Naked Space, aka Spaceship.
Yeah, we haven't seen the
but
second
we did
version.
see.
We watched the director's cut.
We watched the original version, The Creature Wasn't Nice, which is highly rare to watch, and it was very good. Every time I want to eat your face, I laugh and cry like a baby.
When I heard the alien start singing, I burst into laughter.
Mine was way better.
Patrick McNee's in this one too. You don't expect him to be in a parody.
Yeah.
The only movie I'd seen him in before this was View to a Kill. I'd give this a 6.
6?
It was very good. I'm gonna give it a 5. It's halfway there, and it's
10 out of 10.
Okay, so that's 21.
21.
It still didn't win, even
rating
though
of
I gave
21.
it all my might.
This one's another one that we can all talk about. Johnny
We
Dangerously.
watched like 30 minutes of it, but then Mom and Dad said turn it off.
This one has a lot of big stars: Michael Keaton, Dom DeLuise, Peter Boyle, Danny DeVito. Like it's an insane amount of
Once again,
stars.
it's
Joe
basically
Piscopo as well. I think
once again, it's one of the things only Manic Max can talk about.
Yeah.
But we can still.
It's
talk
directed
about
by Amy Heckerling,
little bit.
who, if our memory serves me right, is the director of the Wayne's World movies. I might be wrong. I know she directed some other weird comedies. I liked this.
So this movie was basically him telling the story to like a.
It's him as he's running a pet shop. Johnny Dangerously as he's running a pet shop now after he's stopped being a gangster, and he's telling a kid who stole something from his store, basically what happens when you become a thief. And it's a clever comedy on gangsters, and like the tagline says, organized crime has never been this disorganized. So I'd give it a 7.
I didn't watch the full thing, so I can't really rate it that high. So, but what I saw there, it was pretty good, so I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay, so that's around
22.
22?
No, 15. No, 18.
18.
Whoops.
Okay.
My math
Let's get to another.
does not work.
In Butt and Mud White, it still isn't better.
Anxiety, you win. This is a great Mel Brooks comedy. Like, it's a
parody of Hitchcock's movies.
Hitchcock's movies. My favorite part was probably when he breaks in the song.
In the restaurant with Madeline Kahn.
Madeline Kahn. Like, I don't usually like the Mel Brooks movies per se. I watch them with them, but I don't like them per se. But this one's my favorite. I just thought it was so hilarious. And it didn't make any sense sometimes. So.
Well, you probably didn't understand the references.
There's
There's a funny scene at one point when they're all eating dinner where the camera goes through the glass in the window and it all smashes and they turn and stare, and he did that because in the scene in the movie Psycho, a camera seemingly passes through a window frame with nothing happening. So he did that as like, yeah, this is dumb. Let's break the window.
They do also another Psycho skit where they go to a hotel and they stay there, and the paper boy comes into the bathroom while he's taking a shower, and he just stabs him with the paper and hits him with
because
the paper.
he kept bothering him with the paper. He's like, I need the paper. I need to see what's going on. And he's like, so he comes in and beats him with the paper.
Is that Edison or is that the potato guy?
That's Madeline, and that's a raisin, not a potato.
I said potato guy. It could have been a potato. I didn't
Sadly,
know.
many of the comedians in this one are no longer alive. Harvey Korman, Cloris Leachman died earlier this year. Madeline Kahn, Mel Brooks. He's currently still with us, thankfully.
Don't jinx it.
I'm trying not to. And Dick Van Patten.
Yeah.
He was good too.
Yeah,
They murder him in a really good way. They kill him by they burst his brain with loud rock music as they lock him in his car and he's unable to escape.
Yeah.
And then there's a really weird scene at the end when they defeat the villains, where Cloris Leachman jumps on a broom at the top of a bell tower, tries to kill Mel Brooks, but then just falls off the tower and cackles as a witch as she falls down on the broom to her death. And it's like, what was that scene? What did that? What? Okay.
So there's
Two pieces of information before I grab my pick. So first off, when I was a little kid,
You didn't rate this yet.
oh yeah, I give it. Oh yeah, what's this? Wait,
8.
So
8.
I give it a.
I still
9.
gave everything
I
in
liked
it.
it. It was really,
Ooh,
really
9?
good. Like I'm
So that's 25.
5.
my
Wow.
5.
That's in first
This
place.
is in first place. I didn't think.
Huh.
So context on the thing why it was like so many people were in it. It was because
Okay.
he's a he works at a mental insane asylum.
Yeah, said a mental
So-
asylum.
That's basically what they were.
That's what they were going with.
I didn't grab a movie yet, but there's just 2 pieces of commentary
Okay, so
I'd
some
like
context
to
here.
add. So first off, when we were grabbing all our parody movies today, Sarah, our sister right there, said, "How about we just put these in there, my rip-off movies?" And I had to explain her the difference between rip-offs and parodies.
Like it doesn't make sense. What's the difference?
No, well, a
There's a
ripoff
parody
is just
difference.
trying. A ripoff gets released on DVD in an attempt to capitalize on the success of another popular movie. The parody goes to mock that movie. There's a bit of a difference. It's not major, except parodies are meant to be funny and
Yeah.
stupid, whereas
Yes.
ripoffs just
Tend
comes
to be
naturally.
stupid.
Oh,
They're not completely funny.
And the other thing I wanted to say is when I was a little kid, I saw high anxiety when I was like 6. So.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, what do you call it? I was always scared of the scene where he got locked in his car and died from
Why
laughing.
were you scared of that? I loved that scene.
I don't know. I was
loved
just
the-
scared. I was like, oh
loved
no, I'm
the
gonna
music
get
they
locked
were
in the
playing.
car and
when
die.
even when they close up on his ear as the blood drips out of it, it just looks like a line of Jello.
I thought
It's
it
like
was
they put
ketchup.
Jello on his ear.
I thought it was ketchup. Like maybe I thought it was
Well,
ketchup. Like they
okay.
use ketchup in
That's
the
theory.
movie.
They need ketchup. It's
I am
probably,
pretty sure they
probably
did it.
Jello.
It was
It,
probably
it was
Jello.
funny.
More likely it would be Jello.
go berserk.
No, I hate Airplane 2. It's
No, we have to go with Airplane first, and then
Yeah.
we move on to Airplane 2. Okay. Airplane and Airplane 2, the sequel.
So airplane, 9 out of 10.
Airplane is amazing.
10 out of
Airplane's
10.
like an 8. It's really, really
So wait.
funny.
That's
That's
28? Is that 28 or
It's 27.
27?
no, that's
Wait.
28.
You said 9?
Yeah.
I said 10. You
And I
said
said
8?
It's
So
27.
19.
27? I don't know. Can we count?
Wait,
Let
yes,
us
that's
know.
27. She's right.
It's 27.
So that means this just beat Airplane just beat High Anxiety.
Like,
Hold it
it's
it
like-
up a bit. Okay.
it's like really good. Like the comedy skits in it are like confusing for like
The fog
some
is
points.
thickening, and Leon's getting
larger.
larger.
What's our vector, Victor?
We have
Roger that,
Roger. Roger. Like
Uh,
there's don't
my-
call me
my-
Shirley.
My favorite part of this movie, though, was when they're in the tower at the end communicating with the plane, and the one guy just randomly screams, Lloyd Bridges screams, "Come right for us!" and
Then he
jumps
jumps
out
out
the
the
window,
window.
and
Ah!
he comes back in the next one, so I assume he's not dead. I wish he died. That
Oh,
would
yeah.
have been
And
been
the list
hilarious.
of and the line of people who were just smacking the woman.
Yeah. Wait,
Calm
no.
down.
And the other guy in the tower who he unplugs the lights as they're coming down the runway. Just kidding. Plugs it back in.
Yeah.
Rapunzel, look down your hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
Airplane's
now I'm
now
just
the
gonna
highest
pass-
rated.
Now
You can
I'm
go
going
with
to pass
Airplane
over
too.
Airplane 2.
Airplane 2 is the stupidest movie I've ever seen.
She really hates it.
That's
So
her least
instead
favorite
of
movie.
going somewhere like possible in an airplane, they go to space.
Well, that's not
They go to
exactly
space.
the worst part for it for
They
me.
should have called
The worst part
Airplane
is
2
it was
Spaceship.
It was boring.
It was really boring, and it didn't make
They
that much
didn't-
sense.
Here's the thing. You want to know who directed this? Wrote and directed it? Ken Finkelman, I believe, is the director of it. Let me check. Yeah, Ken Finkelman, who you might know from, who you probably don't know from another '80s comedy, Head Office, which featured Judge Reinhold and Madeline Fell on My Shoulder. Let's put that back up.
Madeline, if you don't
Madeline was in it?
No, Madeline was not.
Sadly
in it.
not.
Sadly not. Maybe that would have made the movie better.
Yes.
Rip Torn is in this too. I loved Rip Torn. He was He was like hilarious in like everything he was in. You remember Rip Torn?
Talking to the camera woman.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a person.
It's not like it's just a tripod.
So it's like, here's the description on the back, and it is as insane as ever. There's a mad bomber on board. The first lunar shuttle is about to self-destruct. The engines aren't working, and worst of all, the flight crew discovers they're completely out of coffee. What an interesting way to... they're parodying the Airport franchise with Airplane, if you didn't realize.
What's Airport?
It was a very, very popular series in the late 70s. It was a disaster series, and it was weird, okay? It was weird.
But this is Sal's least favorite
It's
movie.
a 1. It is absolutely
We know it.
Two.
This is.
horrible.
I also give it a 2. So this is
This,
the lowest
this
rated.
is 5, which is the lowest rated
That's
we have gotten so far.
23 less.
Than
Then our highest
highest.
rated, which is Airplane. So, okay.
It's 23 less
Let's
than
head
the
on to-
original.
Let's head on to one that most people don't consider a parody, but Graham and I do.
Hey, no, I'm pale. I'm the pale critic.
I'm guitar.
Not no,
Fine, whatever.
no name
Tail critic,
reveal
guitar
yet.
critic. So, okay, Delirious it's a John Candy comedy in which he's a soap opera writer who he's going up into the mountains to go buy some of his collectible records or whatever with the girl he loves who plays one of the main characters on his soap opera. And as he's opening the trunk, he finds out that the actress and her boyfriend, who plays a popular doctor on the show, her character's love interest, have gotten back together, and the only reason she was going with him was because she had broken up with him. So, distracted, he ends up hitting himself with the trunk of the car and passes out, and wakes up to find himself in his soap opera. But while all that's happening, the creators/owners of the soap opera are paying someone behind John Candy's back to rewrite the show. So they're creating new characters, adding different plot lines, and Robert Wagner, who might be a murderer in real life.
Christopher Lloyd did it.
You think Walken?
That's what I meant.
But he has his typewriter with him, so he realizes he can write the show the way he wants, and he starts doing that from inside it. There's a really funny scene with Raymond Burr and his son, who for some reason has an eye patch. His son with the eye patch, I forget who plays him. He is the best part of this movie for me. They do the best like soap opera mockeries with it. There's one part where where they're talking at the dinner table and he's like, "I'm your father, don't disrespect me. If you are my father." And like, if she, ever since your mother died, you've been behaving like this. If she was my mother. I'm in love with her. Of course you're in love with her. She's your sister. And it's so weird. And it's really funny. I like Delirious. What would you give Delirious? I give it an 8.
I don't
It's a
want to
good
give
John
it an
Candy
8,
movie.
but that's what I really think it should be. Because basically everything I've given is an 8.
So
Oh, you're
this
back.
gets 16.
Sorry.
I give it a 9.
9? Oh, so it's a 17. Okay, that's actually pretty good.
And since Stella was missing, for this, it was perfect that we did that rehearsal. So
I'm sorry.
Did you give it a 9?
No.
No, he gave it a 9. I gave it an 8. Okay.
Murder
Murder by Death.
by Death. This is a really
20 million
funny.
out of 10.
Like, I thought this was hilarious. It's basically about a detective, obviously.
Tons of detectives.
The
Duh.
main people. And they go to
The world's
Dinner.
greatest detectives, and they're invited to a dinner party by a rich man. I forget what Truman Capote's name in this one was. It doesn't matter. They're invited to his home, and he tells them all that someone's going to be murdered at the stroke of midnight, and they got to find out who did it and where and with what too, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the original Clue.
It was really good. Like, I didn't expect it to be.
It said
this
Clue was based off a board
good.
game. from like
And
the
plus,
1800s.
I know more people about
Neil
it,
Simon.
more
Neil
people.
Simon did great
And
writing. This
yeah,
was his best movie.
Neil Simon
Simon's.
did really good with it, and I also know
Who doesn't like Neil?
Which one? Maggie Smith from
Maggie
the Harry
Smith.
Potters and
That's the only
Secret
reason why I
Garden.
know.
Anyone else see the Secret Garden? That and Little Princess. I love those movies.
Those were really
No one
good.
else talks about them.
Yeah.
Like,
Royal Princess was better.
Yes, no doubt.
Secret Garden was also really good.
No, I want to talk about the actors in this. The actors in this are what make really what makes the movie. We got Peter Falk,
Nougat.
James Coco, David Niven, Peter Sellers in a very racist character. Let's not touch that. Eileen Brennan, Truman Capote, Maggie Smith, and Alec Guinness, who played Obi-Wan only a year later.
Every day I worry all day.
I think that's copyrighted. You should stop.
Oh no! We are sorry.
It's like, it's insane. And there's also James Conway, a young James Conway, who is James Coco's assistant in this movie. You might recognize Conway from his work in the film Babe, in which he plays the farmer, I believe.
Isn't that a pig movie?
Yes, it's a movie about a pig. He's also the voice of the villain in Big Hero 6. He's also been arrested several times because he's an animal activist. But whodunit? You'll die laughing trying to figure it out.
James Coco did an amazing job in it, and so did everyone.
He's a great parody of Hercule Poirot.
Everyone in it did an amazing job. It was really good. 10 out of 10.
I give it a 9. What do you give it? You can't go away.
Bruh.
Give it an 8.
8? So that means it gets a 27.
It's tied.
It's tied with Airplane.
How did we make this
How
happen?
did that happen? We have a tie.
Make it, I don't know.
Okay, grab another one. Let's get going. Just grab one. Doesn't matter which. It doesn't matter. We're gonna get to all of them eventually.
This is one that I personally
Okay,
think
come
is
on.
terrible.
Back on set now.
You can't be over there that long.
So
Dark and Stormy Night.
I've never seen
I had such high hopes for this
I
one.
didn't see this one.
It's a homage to the films, House on Haunted Hill and stuff, and
the first thing I thought of when I grabbed this was, okay, so now we're gonna be talking about Dark and Stormy Night next.
Here's the the director is beloved for his weird B movie parodies. He parodies a ton of B movies like The Lost Skeleton of
Like
Cadabara,
Godzilla, which is
Return
one
of
of
the
them.
Lost Skeleton of Cadabara, The Incredible Human Forehead or something, I think is another one of them. But
Be right back.
they're so bland and boring and unfunny, and which is sad because I had such high hopes for the movie. I bought this off of Amazon for like $10. I would not recommend it. Larry Blameyer is incredibly overrated.
Let's get that out of here then.
Let's get it out. 4 out of 10.
Bro, you didn't eat it, yet.
Don't eat it. I bought that. That's mine.
I give it a 3. And by the way,
3?
we got gypped. I
Yeah.
bought 6 movies
I
for
only
you
saw
didn't watch
a
it?
few minutes of
You
it,
didn't
but
watch it?
what I saw of it was terrible.
Okay.
Parodies
Well,
are supposed to be funny. This was just
so then
stupid.
it just gets a 7.
Like,
the second lowest.
Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid.
10.
didn't see this one.
This was good. Carl Reiner,
Oh, I love Carl Reiner.
Carl Reiner, Steve Martin,
I love Steve Martin
and
too.
a ton of archive footage from old detective movies featuring people like Kirk Douglas and Humphrey Bogart. And
10.
there's a really funny scene in
We
which
know.
Steve Martin's making coffee and he just keeps pouring the coffee grounds in over and over. It lasts for like a whole minute, him just pouring the coffee grounds into the pot.
I really like
Oh,
Steve
did I
Martin.
mention this is a 10 out of 10?
You mentioned it about 10 times.
9.
19.
19.
Only 19.
I still a few minutes of
Well then,
What
you
is-
don't get to count, I
I
guess.
saw it when we saw it.
I recommend it.
Yikes.
Don't eat it. Set it down.
Thank you.
Okay, grab it.
Okay,
Grab the next one.
Yes.
This is one to talk
Okay.
about.
KL
Mafia.
Studios. KL Studios.
Produces some of the best movies ever.
Like,
Okay, so
but
this
Mafia
is
awesome.
this is another Jim Abrams one. Did Pat Proft work on this?
I think so.
Let me check.
Halfway.
Oh no, Pat Proft wasn't on this one.
Oh no.
Huh. But this is around the time people started saying parodies started losing their touch, which I don't understand because I thought it was really good. Oh yeah, and Olympia Dukakis, she just passed away a week ago or something.
Sorry,
I've been trying to figure out who she was in the movie. I don't remember who she played.
But this is like hilarious.
I don't know that name, so maybe she was the girl from Vegas
she was
Vacation.
older.
That was also
She was older.
Okay, never mind then.
This is a parody of The Godfather, and Jane Austen's Mafia is what it's better known as.
I don't know why, but my favorite part of the movie was at the end where there was a Barney costume and the guy comes in and kills the Eskimo.
There's an Eskimo and he's hunting someone, and it's like supposed to be like the end of The Godfather where they go and they assassinate a ton of people, and you watch an Eskimo who works for them going around, and the entire time we're wondering what's he doing, who's he gonna go kill, and we don't see who he kills until at the very end of the movie, like right before the credits. He walks into a room. There's Barney sitting in his costume watching the TV. The Eskimo turns, shoots him with a spear, and Barney's eyes go wide. He falls back and he's dead. And then we just listen to "We Are Family" play as he dances through the hallway and the movie ends. That is my favorite part of this movie.
Don't get copyrighted.
8.
I'm not spending half
This
a
was also
million
Lloyd
dollars
Bridges'
in
final
legal
movie.
fees.
Lloyd Bridges' final movie.
9.
I liked him.
It was really good. 9.
8.
Also give it a 9. Is it a tie again?
Wait,
9
what does that mean?
18, 8 plus 8.
It's a tie again.
What is this?
No, it's just
26?
6. It's 1.
26. It's one below.
No, that's not true.
One too low. Okay.
Not true.
Here, you can talk about Jack
No,
the
that's
Dan
not true,
Loving.
because 8
Talk
plus
about Jack
8.
the Dan.
No,
Doesn't
9
matter.
9 plus
It
9
doesn't-
equals 19.
No,
Plus-
18.
No, you guys
yeah,
did.
right.
Yes. Here, Jack the Dan Loving It. You can talk about that. People hated this Mel Brooks
It was
one.
really good.
Why do people hate this one? I don't understand.
It was a good one.
It was really good. Like I don't understand.
I'm kind of hungry, so I'm kind of gonna.
I'm gonna give it
So I'm gonna give it like.
Jack the Dan Loving It. I give it a 7.
I give it a 5. It was pretty good. It wasn't terrible.
So 14,
19.
19. Doesn't win.
Yay.
Not another celebrity movie. Very, very
Did
forgotten
not watch
one.
this
It is a
one.
parody of Ocean's 11, where it's made with a ton of celebrity lookalikes.
Did not watch
And
it.
they're not actors. They're just celebrity lookalikes. Like guys they found on the street. It doesn't make sense. The guy who plays Johnny Depp looks a lot like Johnny Depp.
But he doesn't.
But he doesn't
like
sound anything like Johnny Depp. And I found the exact opposite happening with Charlie Sheen. The guy who plays Charlie Sheen doesn't look like Charlie Sheen, but he sounds
like
exactly like Charlie Sheen, in my opinion.
See, Johnny Depp?
Yeah, that's just a cover. It's not actually them.
Yeah, but I wanted to be.
So basically, Charlie Sheen hires Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and 8 other celebrities to lead a heist to kidnap Justin Bieber in a Las Vegas casino after he comes to believe that Justin Bieber is his long-lost son.
No.
That is an interesting plot. Okay, I'll give it that. I liked it. I give it a 6. You give it a 2, so that means it gets an 8. It's not.
How did we give it higher than Airplane 2?
Okay, who wants to talk about Men in Tights?
Me.
You want? Here, you can talk about it.
This movie is my favorite.
Okay, Men in Tights.
10.
Oh, you just mocking me now.
Men in Tights is basically a Robin Hood parody.
10.
Prince of Thieves. Mainly it's a parody of Prince of Thieves.
I
9.
have a mole.
I have a mole. Oh, I liked the guy who played.
Carrie Elwes is pretty good. Is
what was his
really
name?
good in this.
He's handsome.
Wait, can I see this real quick? Who did he
What?
play? Richard Lewis. That's who I'm thinking. I think that's who I'm
love
thinking
Richard
of.
Lewis.
No, Roger Rees. Who I'm thinking of, and
I
I
love
liked
those
him.
people.
I liked him.
Which
I
one's
liked
the
Richard
dead one?
Lewis.
I
Roger
really like
Rees
this
died.
movie.
Roger.
Basically,
I like
it's
him.
a
Go, Roger.
He was the sheriff.
it's a movie
He's in the Pink Panther.
that they.
I
can't.
Okay, it's a parody of mainly of Prince of Thieves. It's another Mel
9.
Brooks. It's pretty good. I give it a 9.
9.
That's 18. So then that's 27 again.
But with my 10, it's the winner. Just kidding.
Okay, set it down.
I'm
Here,
tired of
you
you
can talk- you can
doggone
talk about
people
Cheap
buying
Detective.
my doggone movie.
Chief Detective.
This one was boring. It was pretty good, I guess.
I went
It's a-
somewhere.
It's the
like a dentist
second best
appointment, I
Neil
wanna say.
Simon movie that I've
That's
seen,
because
but
we've
that's
only
only because
seen
we've seen
two.
3. 3.
I want to say I went to a dentist appointment.
Seems
the
like
night
old
that you were
times.
watching
I saw
this.
that.
Oh yeah, that was the worst.
That was terrible. pretty terrible.
Was your dentist appointment better than the movie?
There's a lot of really good comedians. There's a lot of really good comedians in here and stuff. So I don't know how it failed. 5.
3. But I saw if it was terrible.
14.
14. What fell on it?
My Cheerios!
Johnny English and Johnny English Reborn. Johnny English was
8 out of 10.
great. I loved
8 out of
that
10.
one.
9.
I give it an 8.
9.
It proved that.
Okay. I give Johnny
Wait.
English an 8.
Alright, so
It
8.
was a good James Bond parody.
16 plus 9.
Is
25.
25. But then we get to Johnny English Reborn, and in my opinion, that is the worst parody movie ever.
No.
Yes.
It is so unfunny.
What, you gonna say
It is so
Spaceballs?
terrible. It has such weird, awkward comedy. It is terrible. I give this one an 8. So this Johnny English got a 25. I give this a 1.
So, 1.
1?
He got a 3!
That's the lowest it can get!
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You are not the person to talk about this one. You did not
1.
watch this.
1 again.
I would give this one a 2. It also gets a 3 out of 10.
Come on, I wanted to give this
I
one
like.
1.
I liked.
2 out of 10.
I liked Dudley. I liked Dudley more in Foul Play. I really liked him in that, which is why when I was looking around on his IMDb page and whatnot, I found this parody of Sherlock Holmes. And I love Sherlock Holmes, so I thought, who better to parody Sherlock Holmes than the weird Saturday night, the weird Staying Alive guy from Foul Play. But it turned out it was terrible, unfunny, and occasionally weird, gross out humor.
We didn't talk about the Staying Alive guy in Love at First Bite.
Love at First Bite. There's a Staying Alive part in that?
No, remember?
It's been a while since I've
No,
seen
wait,
that one.
wasn't it?
No.
Oh, was it?
No.
Are you thinking about Foul Play?
Yeah, you're thinking. I don't know.
That
But
was Foul Play? I don't
Three.
The
remember.
short guy
I think
The short
so.
guy?
I don't know.
with the inflatable
another
dolls?
one I have to talk about alone, Wrongfully Accused, which is mainly a parody of The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. I liked this one. This one is the only movie. Okay, this is the only movie ever directed by Pat Proft, who is the creator of the Police Academy series and writer of the Star Wars Holiday Special. He works with Jim Abrams a lot, so that's why I was surprised Jim Abrams didn't work on this one. I thought it was pretty funny. Okay, I think he should have directed another one. The movie was a big bomb, so I understand why he didn't. I give this one a 7.
Okay,
Finally,
we're
one
gonna
that
talk
we
about
can all talk
Spaceballs.
about. 10 out of 10.
10 of them.
My favorite movie. 10 out of 10.
Automatically gets a 20.
9 for me.
Okay, 29.
And it
What
doesn't
do you, okay,
That
I know,
doesn't
still.
count.
What's your vote?
This is really, really funny. Like,
What's your vote on
the
Spaceballs?
Schwartz is with you. I want to say it's an 8.
28. It beat all the others by 1.
I'm just happy that Spaceballs
Is this
is
yeah,
one
the
of the
others
best.
were
This
a
is
lot of the others were
27.
27. So that means that this is currently in first place.
That was
with the
like,
greatest
it was
parody.
just really funny. The Schwartz is with
It deserves
you.
it.
Like,
It's one of the greatest.
Here's a
movies.
really good one to talk about.
Oh,
An American
that
Carol.
one was something.
It's a parody of, it mocks America and A Christmas Carol.
And Suicide Bombers.
Oh, no, that's America.
no.
That maybe don't touch on that.
No.
It's
I like your Toby.
it's definitely rude and insensitive in a couple scenes, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty funny, and it mocks the faults of America. It's David Zucker, people. How do you not like David Zucker? As the front of the box proudly proclaims, the director of Airplane, The Naked Gun, and Scary Movie 3 and 4.
Get out
3
of
and
my
4?
eyes.
What?
Ah.
Those were some of the worst ones. Why? No, I don't know. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, we haven't seen
I give
that.
someone an 8. I like an American
It was
Girl.
dumb. I did not like it, too.
I gave it a 6.
I'll watch this every 4th
16.
of July. It's the most American movie I've ever seen.
16. It got a 16.
Die Hard, American Cold Blood.
Spy Hard.
Good
Oh,
one,
this
yay.
started out so promising with parodies of speed, but parodies of like speed and stuff get thrown in. It's a James Bond parody. Here, there's a picture on the back here of them dressed up like the characters from Pulp Fiction. They're talking in a diner at a point in the movie. Okay, they're talking at like a restaurant, and then all of a sudden, it cuts to them dancing dressed up like this. It happens for like 30 seconds, and then they just cut away like it's never happened before. And this is where parodies really got bad. It was written by Jason Friedberg and Aaron Salter.
Maybe
Who are
not
notorious. It doesn't matter. They're notorious for bringing upon the downfall of parody movies. It started out really promising and really good, and it got really bad. But since it started, there was a pretty good part in the middle though where they parodied Macaulay Culkin, and where they pulled him up the steps. This is for Home Alone. This is for Home Alone 2. This is for My Girl. This is for My Girl 2. I wasn't even in My Girl 2. I'll take this anyway. And I thought it was funny enough,
Okay,
but
so
it could have been way better. 5. What do you give it?
I give it a 5 as well.
Okay, so that's 12.
there you go. Now it's your turn to talk about Repossessed all by
Repossessed.
yourself because we can't talk about that one.
This one was directed by Bob Logan, who is the proud director of Meatballs 4.
There's 4 meatballs?
Meatballs 4.
I love meatballs.
There's like 7.
Linda Blair actually parodies her own role in The Exorcist here, which is pretty interesting. The movie is
Which is then repossessed.
funny in some scenes. One of the main complaints about this one is it came years too late for an Exorcist
Same with
parody.
Spaceballs.
It came in like 1990, but it came out in 1990. It's the same thing Spaceballs said. They said it wouldn't be relevant, but here we are, and it's still pretty relevant.
It's
if you
pretty
think about
good.
it.
Like, we're still having Star Wars things come out, like...
But, I don't know. Ned Beatty and Leslie Nielsen just couldn't really do it for me in this one. 4.
That's the second lowest.
Meet the Spartans. Next.
Oh, God. You don't want to talk about them that much?
The tower.
What? You don't want to talk about Meet the Spartans that much?
Yeah, I hate that.
I liked it. I gave it a 6.
2.
Okay.
Okay, superhero movie. I saw a little bit of it, and I thought it was
Oh, that was hilarious.
interesting.
No, I love that.
Maybe we should
I
just
love
show the
it.
back.
As soon as Sarah came, I just want to point out, Sarah came in as soon as the movie started getting inappropriate again because Leslie Nielsen came back to life.
Yeah, the thing that we noticed is it was kind of inappropriate at the beginning, and then they kill off Leslie Nielsen for a little bit, and it starts to be normal, and then Leslie Nielsen comes back, and it's like, I figured out why this movie is the way it is.
I come in, and all of a sudden they're talking about like.
No, look, Sarah Paxton from Aquamarine, though, that's the worst part of this movie for me. Worst part. She's not on the cover. Main character isn't. No, there he is. Never mind. Is Kevin Hart not on the cover? Kevin Hart's not even on the cover.
Kevin Hart was a big part.
I don't.
Bubbles!
Yeah, Michael Jackson's monkey's in here or something for a reason. I don't know. It's a pretty good Spider-Man parody, actually, though. I give it a 7.
I also give it a 8.
Okay, so then it gets 15.
This one is. I
You didn't see
didn't
it
watch it.
Another one I talk about on my own.
Sadly.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I would say Monty Python and the Holy Grail is it's a very good comedy. It was funny. It was just what I wanted to see when I saw it. It was very funny in many of the scenes, specifically the rabbit scene and the where the Knights of the Round Table song. I recommend this one. I give it an 8.
Yay.
Oh no.
Yes.
This one was so
Not Zilla.
boring.
Okay, this is
I'm back.
proudly proclaims itself as the winner of 7 top comedy awards at multiple film festivals. You might not understand how by looking at this.
Why?
For instance, the tagline is "Beer makes him grow. What could go wrong?" Not the best tagline in the world. Though the director actually had been working on this movie since he was in high school, and he's now like 60 something. So he's been working with us for a long time. But the good thing about this one, it came out last year, and it's one of the only modern parodies not to talk about. It's one of the only modern parodies not to throw in a ton of random stuff. It only goes with Godzilla. It doesn't parody anything else. For that alone, you got to give it a 7. It just goes with old Godzilla films. You can't. That's great.
I'm gonna go through on that too. I'm giving it a 2.
I'm giving it a 4.
How do you hate this?
It was
Look at that.
boring.
You don't know good.
Yes.
Okay.
Last one.
Mars Attacks.
I really
really
like it.
It's not really a parody.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't.
It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. What I really like though is the reason Jack Nicholson plays 2 characters in this movie is because Tim Burton was specifically told you can't kill Jack Nicholson in a movie. If you make a movie, you can't kill Jack Nicholson in it. So he wrote 2 characters for him and killed him in both of the roles. Like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna kill him twice. Yeah, but I'd say that's probably the funniest part of the movie. Reading the trivia on that on the IMDb page. This isn't funny at all.
This was boring, but I liked it.
It's boring in most parts.
2 or 3.
I liked watching a ton of people get killed though. So, I mean,
Celebrities, so.
there were a couple scenes that were actually pretty.
I give
I
it
had a couple chuckles in a couple scenes. I did. My main complaint is at the end, after the first lady is killed by the falling chandelier and Jack Nicholson is stabbed with the alien arm. Natalie Portman, their daughter, becomes president. Is that how that works? Because I'm pretty sure we don't. We're not like a dictatorship or something here. We don't put the person who's the child of that in charge after that.
Well, I thought you were going
Like,
to
I
talk
don't-
about how they sang,
It's-
it's not unusual to
Well,
love
no, he sang
anyone."
Tom Jones, isn't this? I don't know why.
For comic
6.
relief, and we all love Tom Jones.
4.
I give it an 8.
Okay, well then.
So that's
After
18.
all this, the highest rated is Spaceballs with a 28 out of 30.
I leave this room
And
happy.
the lowest rated is Johnny English Reborn with a 3 out of 30.
Whopping
Actually, it ties with the Hound of Baskervilles. But how are you? Okay,
I'm leaving so I
Well,
don't have to pick this up.
we'll be back some other time. We'll be back with a new video on Anthony Horowitz in a little bit, and
Please like and subscribe if
please
you
like
liked the
and
video.
subscribe.
Subscribing is free. You can always undo it whenever you want.
You know,
That's quoted by Dream, by the way.
quit stealing other people's ideas. Anyway, here we go.
Remember, no name reveal yet.